Mama raised a kid, hoping stacks one day. All the things she did were for stacks one day. Money, power, and fame, grinding hard, feel insane. Changes in a day, upgrades in one day.
Hello Inhabitants, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're the niche Inhabitants and you're welcome. We look forward to having you as an inhabitant joining the family. Thank you so much for tuning in. So my name is Nina. I do mom vlogs. I'm focusing on a pregnancy journey series at the moment. So if you haven't watched any of my videos, go and watch from the start until you get to this point so that you know what's happening and you enjoy the series. Like, recommend it to anyone that you know that is pregnant. And I enjoy sharing those moments. It was a beautiful journey, so why not share it? And I learned a lot from YouTube during my pregnancy, so I'd like to give back that information as well through making those videos and sharing my motherhood journey with you guys. Okay guys, this is my fourth video, so I'm getting excited with the YouTube journey. It's not easy, but we're getting there. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, let's get straight into it. Today I'll be talking about deciding between a private and a public hospital, like where you'd want to give birth. You might be wondering about your options for maternity care at some point in your pregnancy, and usually you have to have a birthing plan around about 12 weeks to 16 weeks because most hospitals or maternity care centers, they want you to register with them around about that stage because they want to determine if your pregnancy is high risk or not, and they want to start the pregnancy journey with you so that they know if you can give birth with them or not. So it's very crucial that you register your pregnancy around about 12 weeks or before 12 weeks so that you get proper maternity care throughout your pregnancy. You should at least have an idea of where you'd want to give birth or how you'd want to give birth, who you want to do the labor process. For others, they would want to have a midwife. They can do it at home with you, or sometimes they have birthing centers. So if you prefer having a midwife during your pregnancy, they only really deal with low risk pregnancy. So they have to determine if your pregnancy is low risk, deliver your baby. And when it comes to the doctor, definitely you have to choose a hospital because doctors are only found at hospital. You have to consider your pain relief options as well. Your pain relief options are like, what would you want to have, like how would you want to give birth? Do you want to give it do you want to give birth naturally, no medication? Do you want to have that injection that they give you so that you don't feel the pain? So if so, then you have to go to a place that they do that, because at public hospitals usually they don't do that without a strong reason to do that. They would actually let you do it naturally, but obviously with the private hospital they would allow you to have a choice to actually have that injection so that you don't really feel the labor pain. Privacy. If privacy is an issue for you, then you definitely have to settle for a private hospital, because in a public hospital there is no privacy happening there. Yes, you'd have your small portion or your small corner, but it's not private enough. If you want a private room, if you want everything to be private, and intimacy, like do you want to go with your partner? That's a dream if you want to go to a public hospital. You can't really have your partner in labor. My ideal birthing place was Genesis Maternity Clinic. It's a very beautiful, luxurious birthing place. I was so in love with the place, and I was determined to give birth at such a beautiful, dreamy hospital. But unfortunately, it's only for midwives. According to my research, it's only for midwives. So if you want to give birth through a doctor, then Genesis is not the place for you, because they only use midwives. So you have to register with the midwife for you to get for you to deliver at Genesis. And then if your pregnancy is high risk, they'll refer you somewhere else. So apparently I was carrying triplets. So the moment I knew that I wanted to have triplets, Genesis immediately got scratched from my. Besides the fact that my partner was against the water bath, because for me, Genesis, I was looking into having a water bath, and then you're like, hey, wananga nozomedza mvura, hey, chi. So mnongoziya my boy. So I got discouraged, because honestly I was not sure if that's what I wanted as well. But I think I was wishfully thinking, like I wished maybe that was cool. I felt it was cool, like come on. It was experimental for me. It wasn't really a need. It was something that I wanted to experiment, but because my partner was not supporting the idea, I just said, okay, cool, let's go with a normal way. So my plan B was any life hospital. Like I've been to a life hospital before, and I really appreciated their services. I was so excited, I was so happy, I felt at home. Like their service is top notch. They really take care of their patients. They are like, the moment I went there, I knew that was my ideal hospital. So my plan B was definitely any life hospital. I was determined to go to any life hospital. So here's what happened. Since I had my own private doctor since I was 8 weeks, the moment that I suspected that, okay, the moment that I confirmed that I was pregnant, I decided to go to my doctor, and then I was seeing him since around about 8 weeks. So he was the one taking care of me. Meanwhile, I was deciding what I want to do. So I told him about my plan to give birth at a life hospital, and he was like, okay, that's good. But he suggested to me that one of the hospitals that we worked with were opening a maternity hospital around about October, and I was only due in February. So I felt, okay, this that would be lovely, that would be great, especially knowing that I've got a good relationship with my doctor. Having him do the delivery was a bonus. It was great. So I quickly settled for that. Besides the considering the fact that giving birth at a life hospital was costly. We were looking at around about 35,000 if it was a natural birth, and if it goes above, if I was going to have a C-section. That is the problem with C-section. You really don't have to plan it, but maybe if there are any complications, then you'd easily be referred to a C-section. So it would have been more if I was going with the C-section. So what my doctor was suggesting, that it was almost half the price. There was a price difference that was half of the life hospital. So it was an attractive offer, actually going with my doctor. And then I don't have a medical aid, by the way, so all this was cash. So one of the advantages of having a private doctor is don't really have to wait for long queues like you do at a public clinic or public hospital, because you actually book with your doctor. And the good thing about it, I really didn't have to take any off days during my pregnancy. I would literally go on Saturdays to for my gyne appointments. I would go on Saturdays, and I was booked, so I would literally get in there and see the doctor and go back home, which is different from going to a clinic, because you have to wake up early, go stand on queues, and you have to take an off day because it only happens during midweek. You get full attention when you've got a private doctor. I could call my doctor anytime that I felt funny, that I really needed answers, that I didn't understand what was happening to my body. I would just call my doctor and you'd confirm what was happening, and you'd recommend what you'd recommend. So you've got someone, like you've got a personal relationship with your doctor, which is very great. Which is different from a public hospital, because you have to wait for your next appointment to talk about what is going on with you. And so there's this personal touch that you have when you're having a private doctor. Around about 13 and 34 weeks, they perform the abnormality check, like where they check if the baby is Down syndrome or not, which is great if you're a curious person, or if you just want to make sure you have taken all the precautions before you continue with your pregnancy, which is something that doesn't happen at the public hospital, unless if they think there's a reason to think so. Maybe if you've had your pregnancy at a more mature age, so obviously they are looking into that. They have to check if the baby is fine and all. So that's one advantage of using a private hospital. However, I think it is unnecessary at some point, because it was very expensive. I think for the two tests we spent about 5,000 for us to get those tests at 14 weeks and at 34 weeks. So we had them twice, so it was quite expensive. Whereas when I went to a public hospital, they do some tests on you, like they run some bloods, which were for free, and I got the results the next on my next appointment. It's not the same test, but they run the necessary tests for you, which is good, you know, for free. And one thing for sure, at the public hospital, you get the basics, you get all the necessities that you need. But when it comes to the private, they go through the strength or the extremes of making sure the baby is okay. So you have to weigh in there. But you know what? I honestly think the services that you get from a public hospital, they are okay, they are basic, they are fine, as long as your pregnancy is not high risk. The chances of getting the wrong sex for your child, or the wrong sex for your child when you're pregnant at a private hospital, they're slim. Why? Because you keep going for checkups and examinations, so they've got more chances of confirming your baby's sex. Like just like me, at first the sex was 99% a girl, but there was something that we were suspecting to be a penis. It was close to the umbilical cord, so we couldn't determine if it was the umbilical cord or it was the penis. But the next time we went again, that is when the doctor confirmed that it was really a penis. So you see, but for someone who had went who has one opportunity to go and check the sex of the baby, they could have just gone with the 99% throughout their pregnancy, and later find out the baby's a boy later. And apparently, when you're going to a public hospital or public clinic during your pregnancy appointment, they really don't do a gender reveal for you. They only look out for the necessities. You knowing your child's gender is your own problem. You have to go and look for somewhere to go for a scan and to find out your child's sex, which is a bit of a disadvantage, because automatically when I go for my checkup, they still check how's the baby and find out the sex. So You see, you are a bit limited at the public hospital, but I feel the limitations, they are not that bad. Okay, my pregnancy is going well. October came, the hospital is not yet open. Apparently they were waiting for the MEC to come and open the hospital, and he had not confirmed the date yet, and I was okay, and they were expecting maybe the MEC would come at the end of the month, or maybe end of November. And then it came to December, we started panicking because we were left with only 2 months before the birth, and we didn't know where we were going to give birth to our child. I went for a checkup with my partner, and the doctor advised us that we'll start making plan C, because we don't know if the hospital will be open or not until February. So we needed to make a plan as soon as, because anytime is tea time. And he gave us an option for him to book at another hospital that he knows, and you'd go and deliver the baby at that hospital. Or he suggested that he would refer us to a public hospital that he has worked at before, and then he said it was not that bad, so it was ideal for me to go and register there and deliver at that public hospital. Another advantage of a private hospital is when you're giving birth, doctors are readily available. Like, there's already a doctor that is scheduled for you, but that is different with a public hospital. You really cannot choose. You really don't know if there will be a doctor on duty when you're giving birth. You actually have to wait for a doctor when he comes in. Because I remember during my labor, I was only told that the doctor will come in the afternoon to determine if I should have a C-section or not. So that was in the morning at 8 a.m. So I was going to wait for the doctor till the afternoon for him to come and decide what should happen whilst I'm in labor. So you see, okay, one of the main reasons why I really wanted to have a private hospital labor was because I wanted to go into labor with my partner. I really wanted to bite him, I wanted to squeeze him, I wanted him to feel the pain as well. That was my ideal birthing plan. Like, I really wanted him to be there, but unfortunately his traveling dates were not corresponding with my due date. So we were hoping the baby would come earlier, but it didn't happen that way. Two, considering the amount of money that we were saving by going to the public hospital, the public hospital is definitely a great advantage, was a good idea, because we were saving a lot of money. My doctor advised us that it would cost around about 5,000 for the birth at a public hospital. But when I got there, they said it's for free. I'm like, okay. But apparently nowadays it is 5,000. I don't know how I was lucky, but I did it for free. But others say they do pay that 5,000. So you see, I went to give birth for Mahala, and the services were not bad at all. So around about January, about late December or early January, I went to register at South Band Hospital, and they've got their own antenatal clinic that is dedicated to pregnant women, which was great because it catered for those needs specifically, and there were now long queues, considering that it was a clinic for specific people. So it was really organized. You'd have to be there at 7 a.m. and by 9 they would have been. Honestly, their services were so good. I remember they even allowed me to come with my partner for checkups and appointments, which was nice. you would stand together on the keel, so they would allow your partner to come and support you during your pregnancy, which was not bad at all. Besides, I had my best friend and my cousin telling me all the time that public hospitals are not so bad. And my best friend had 3 kids at that public hospital, so she was the best person to give me a testimony about their services. So I was confident that I was at the right place. It's just that I was adamant to bite someone, so my ideal birthing place was the main reason was to have my partner with me. The moment I realized that it's not gonna happen, and then what was the point of wasting so much money on something that I can do somewhere for free, you know? I only went for antenatal checkups about 3 times. Though they made me remove my clothes. The first time, like when they were doing their examinations, they said remove everything. I'm like, what? I was so surprised. I was not expecting that, but they were doing their job, and I was like, really, I'm still going to do the same during labor, so I might as well start practicing. So yeah, their services were very good. They are very nice and patient nurses, and I remember telling myself at some point that I really want to send them some flowers and chocolates, because I really appreciated the way they treated us, the way they you know, people that really love their job. Like, it was so good. I don't want to lie. I don't want to be a statistic and say they were bad. They were not. I even feel bad too today that I didn't send those chocolates and those. Okay, I must confess that I've heard so many stories about public hospitals treating foreigners, to be specific, differently, and I did not experience that. I'll be lying to say that I was treated differently because of my nationality. Everything was the same. Trust me, I'm a legal personnel. If anything was wrong, I would have told you. I would have come and told you how I felt and how I was treated, and it was good. Okay, I'm not saying what people say doesn't happen, but I'm saying not all public hospitals are bad. The one that I went to was very great, and I felt at home. It was a very good hospital, and their services were good and fair. I didn't feel discriminated. On that note, if you go to a Zimbabwean public hospital, then you come back to a South African public hospital, you would start appreciating the South African public hospital and their services, even the environment. You would really appreciate their services. You won't even question it, because they are that good, you know. You'd actually find these services at some private hospitals, like that's those semi-private hospitals in Zim. So trust me, South African hospitals, they are still at the par, they are still doing the right thing, they're still treating patients correctly. And on that note, I did have English breakfast when I was at a public hospital, so it's not bad. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't watched any of my videos, please do watch them up somewhere. And then thank you so much for supporting our channel. We really appreciate you guys. As you can hear, somebody's already crying. I need to check out. Thank you so much. Please leave comments down below with your experience at public hospital. Would like to hear them, because my experience is not your experience. Your opinion.
Today I'm going to do a headstand pose. You have to have your hands shoulder width apart and touch the crown of your head as you stretch up. You have to try and lift your leg as you are gauging how you should go up until you find your balance to go up at once. It's not an easy pose. I've been trying it a week now, and I'm even using the wool at the moment. Eventually I'd love to do it away from the wool. I think I'll post pictures on my Instagram once I've gotten the strength and courage to do it off the wool. But you can see I'm not on the wool anymore.